This is just random talking. Read the text, and yes, I have nothing better to say. I do have a cold, and now I have nothing better to say, but on with the video. Hello, universe. My name is Eliza Smith, and I have something very important to discuss, like serious business. However, anyway, first of all, I'd like to point out that I am indeed an owl. Look, I have a little owl face. Yep. So anyway, I will now proceed to tell you what needs to be said on stories and what I think things are. I don't know what this is exactly. I have this idea that people's lives are not like stories, but are stories. But the stories aren't just their life, they're beyond their life. In this, there's many characters. Each of these characters has a story, but the stories aren't just separate individuals. You could say that this is Death's story, or you could say that this is Liesl's story. There's probably many arguments about that. Well, not official arguments. Arguments going on inside your head once you read that, whether this is Death or Liesl's story. However, that's a false concept. It's not Death or Liesl's story. It's both of their stories, because their stories coexist together through time. Also, what about Ruby? Ruby's stories coexist with Liesl when he's 10 to 14, but then he ends up dying. So his story comes out of Liesl's cycle and it goes on to death and what happens after his death. If anything happens after his death to his body, that is. Which it does because Liesl kisses him. So that's part of his story, however he doesn't even know that's part of his story. So it's not part of his life. It's more like a sequel, like a really tiny leaflet of a sequel to his life, like the image. And yes, I know this book is rich, but it's old. I've had it for 2 weeks. Anyway, if these stories aren't their lives, then what are they? Well, there's a way to answer that. There's this show, well, anime, which is called Hetaria. On it, there are people who are countries. Their stories are that country's history. Their lives are that country's history. They act the way their countries act in different times, and they have wars with people based on what in their country have war. It's mostly set around World War II. That's where all the costumes and main plotline come from. That's one of the darkest periods of world time. So their stories, if you just look at the history of different countries, you know how dark and depressing it is. It's dark and depressing right now. We've got wars in Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq. We've got countless rebellions and stuff like that. It's horrible. But it's the truth, okay? Deal with it. But in that show, it focuses on the most darkest time, and all the characters seem normal. There's part of the fandom which is dark yandere, 2P, insane, psychopathic. It's the best part of the fandom. Not the best part of the fandom, but one of the most serious parts of the fandom that exists. There's authors like Taro-chan, who wrote the Onomatopoeia series, which is scary, and Sounds of Silence, and Beg Me Kill for Attention, which are all somewhat, sometimes, based on things that have actually happened. And it's scary. It's scary when you look at it like that. But if you look at someone's life like that, just a regular person's life like that, it is like that. That's what it's like. It's like the life of a country. You don't understand how some people stay sane. The worst part is, people don't consider their effect on other people's stories. People's stories are made of three things: how they act, why they act that way, and people's reaction to how and why they acted that way. That's all your story is. It can be in many different chapters, many different paragraphs. It can even be in different novels, because you live and believe in regeneration and stuff like that. However, none of that matters if you are someone who doesn't trust in their own opinion, doesn't believe their own thought, and certainly doesn't trust other people. That will ruin your story and make it fragile, because other people's reactions are 75% of what your story is. How and why aren't that important. It's only what people do towards that. You don't notice it, do you? There's this quote that I know. It says that life's 10% what happens and 90% how you react. It should be 10% what you do and 90% how others will act, to be honest. But can't have more. That is what your story is. It's that 90% of what other people reacted to how you did something. Okay? Sorry, I just wanted to clear up some confusion. This is a two-part video, by the way. You can go find the next part on either this annotation in the description or subscribe to my channel and you'll get the next part up